So back on the E36. This weekend I'm not working on the rear subframe because I ordered the rear camber arms and the associated hardware, but the parts have not arrived yet. Which means I'm going to be turning my attention to the front of the car and working on those front struts. As you can see, pulled out the stand suspension, and I'll be giving you a 15,000 mile review on these things. So let's start from the top. I guess this is the most serious part because I absolutely despise the stance camber plates. As you can see, if you look on this one down here, the 3 studs on that secondary plate comes off just fine because the tolerances were right and I can adjust everything smoothly and cleanly. This one, however, you can't do that because if you look in here, the stud gets caught under the camber adjustment portion of the plate and it's just locked in there. When I was doing the alignment with the alignment guy, we just basically took a pry bar and just pried as hard as we could to get the camber we wanted with the caster set where it is, and then basically since I took it out, it's been locked in there. Can't do anything about it. So pretty crappy, these things. Going further down, these are Swift springs. Originally I got stance springs and they came with an 8-inch length, which kind of dropped down here. I didn't really have an issue at first when I was running a 7-inch wide wheel with 225 width tires and it was an ET of 35, no issue. However, I wanted to run a 17x9 with a 245 tire and it was a big no-go down here because the sidewall would have just eaten up everything. So shortened the spring by 2 inches, brought it up here so you can clear a lot more of the sidewall, and then I threw on a 20mm spacer, which is giant, yes I know, and that brought out my offset to 25mm offset, and I probably had 6 or 7 mils to go before hitting the sidewall. So I could have done 15 but decided not to, just to play it safe. This Swift spring was pretty good. It originally was a 6-inch spring, now it's 5 5/8 and it's even across each side. So I'm not sure if they're supposed to compress that much, but not terrible because they're even. So pretty happy with that. Going further down, this locking collar, I hate the stance locking collars. As you can see, if you listen. So that's the spring loose, and on this side, that's not the spring moving, that's the actual strut itself. So yeah, these locking collars, I don't go lightly by hand tightening them. I take a dead blow, a 3-pound dead blow, and wail on this with one of the wrenches until they stop moving, but apparently that's not good enough. Probably because these camber plates also suck and don't allow enough movement here. So it starts forcing this to move. But that is another issue. The strut itself, so this portion, it's the inverted damper. I'm a big fan of it. I like it. It works well. It is slightly annoying because the adjustment knob is up here. So you need to buy the extensions, and I think this is an 8-inch extension, and brings it all down perfectly right next to the control arm. So you need to get this. It's an extra cost. Then, lastly, it's this bottom threaded part. This is like a BC coilover, so this is for preload and this is for height, where it goes up and down the threaded strut. This is the bane of my existence also. I absolutely despise this because, like up here, this never locked. So as you can see, I marked it with yellow paint marker and still no dice really because it moves a little bit. What I did end up doing as my final solution is take green thread locker, which is the penetrating kind. So after assembly, after everything's tight, you squeeze green thread locker all in here and it kind of seeps down the threads so it locks. And then finally with that, it stops moving. This side is actually pretty good. As you can see, that yellow marker is all set. So this side I don't think has moved, but pain in the butt because I was chasing down alignment issues like all 15,000 miles because this stuff would keep on moving. And after every couple autocross events, I'd check it, and yeah, I could just spin this by hand. Overall, for I think these are $1,100 base, and then to buy the extension, the knob extensions, and this, I probably added another 200 bucks. So I'm 1,300 bucks into these coils, and I'm pretty happy with them. I also had another issue. These 3 studs, actually, I had to do a warranty claim because the first time I just tightened them down, Stance tells you 13 foot-pounds of torque on them. And since my strut tower is slightly mushroomed, I tightened down to 13, and before I even got to that torque spec, these just bent right, like just really bent over, and I could not pull them out of the strut tower again. It was that bad. I had to kind of hammer it in, but that was upon initial assembly, so that probably added another 30 bucks to pay for rush shipping just to get this car running again. So, but overall, I'm decently happy. If I were to do it again, I probably would have done the $2,000 for a ground control kit with conies, because I'd have way less problems and wouldn't even have to deal with these stupid camber plates and this stupid height adjustment issue. But since these are still good, I do like the strut itself. I'm going to keep on running them because I found a great deal on these things. Yep, so that is your ground control camber plate. I have camber adjustment this way with the strut nuts, which is great, and then caster adjustment here, because this is less important. You can set it as you like, whatever you want it to, and then forget it, and then you can always adjust camber whenever you want just by loosening the top 3 strut nuts and then just prying over, and this would be good. This is a much better method of adjustment rather than this ass backwards way. So I'll be putting this on, and then I'll be rebuilding these, cleaning everything up, getting thread locker out so I can realign it. I'm going to be dropping the car about another ½ inch in front and like a massive like 2-inch drop in the back, because the back is just all messed up. So stay tuned and I'll get everything running. I got to make sure this all fits, because this inner bore may be different than the diameter of the strut shaft, so I might need like custom spacers or do something funky. So we will have to see. Next episode, we're probably going to do a lot more, trying to get this car finally buttoned up. Rear parts will be in, and then the fronts will be nice with nice fancy ground control hardware. So this is a long one of just talking, not much action, but just wanted to let you guys know what the status of this car is. Thank you guys for watching.